Our next project is a classic Pong game. If you're not familiar with this, the idea is you have two players, and the two players control their paddles with buttons. So our player on the left is going to use the W key to move their paddle up and the S key to move their paddle down. The player on the right uses the up and down arrows to control their paddle. The way this game works is when we start the game, the ball is going to pick a random direction and then it will bounce off the top of your screen. It will bounce off the bottom of your screen. And when it hits one of the edges behind the paddles, the other player scores. So the goal is to keep the ball in the field of play. As the ball moves, the ball is going to bounce off of what it hits and it's going to get faster and faster. And you'll see that the players score. The ball resets in the middle. Mine appears to have a little bit of a glitch here because it's giving 2 points every time. You're going to want to figure out that. I have no idea why mine's doing that right now, other than that I think it's getting stuck. I'll have to work on this more. But the idea is it bounces back and forth until somebody gets 5 points. At the end of somebody scoring 5 points, it will declare that person the winner and the game will stop. So some important things about this game. There needs to be a way to start it and reset everything back to the way it should be. In this case, that's the green flag. There needs to be a way to control both paddles. The ball bounces in the places. It keeps score, player 1 score and player 2 score. You're welcome to just use the variables as that. And then it needs to tell somebody that they won when they get to 5 points. While you're working, there are several checkpoints that are going to happen. At some point, I will say it's checkpoint 1 is due, and you'll see that in the Google Classroom calendar. At that point, the ball needs to start in the middle, and the paddle needs to be able to be controlled, and the bouncing needs to happen. And that's it. The second checkpoint, the ball needs to speed up the more bounces it makes, and then it needs to reset when it hits the edges. It needs to come back to the middle. And then when you turn in your final, it will do all of the things. I also have for you a student version of Pong that somebody made in the past. This one, we're going to push the green flag to start. I believe that the controls are the same. Oh, they even did a nice job of telling us what the controls are. So this is a helpful way. And then it says press Z to restart during a game or after winner is declared. So at any point you can push Z. And the game starts when the ball moves. And you can make your ball bounce in funny ways. You can do whatever you want. You will kind of get into this glitch where occasionally Snap will have things bounce in a way that doesn't work. This is why this player or this student put in the Z. So you could restart. The idea is you want the ball. You want the game to be playable by 2 people. I'm going to lose. I'm so bad at this game. Nice when you're playing against yourself, though. So I'm going to let it win so that you can see they've chosen to have the ball say player 1 scores each time, and then they have a game over, and they tell you who won. So you can make this as creative or as not creative as you want. The thing I would encourage is that before you get going on too much work, designing very cool sprites or designing very cool backgrounds, I would recommend that you first get the game working and then work on some of the fun. But I know that a lot of the fun for you may be designing your paddles, designing your ball. I've seen some very, very cool variations where when they hit, they make they change or whatever. You're welcome to do any of that, but the basic Pong game is all that the goal is. And please try to make sure you get there before you spend too much time on the creativity. I look forward to your submissions. Have fun and be creative.